Taylor Swift, the one where they ask her favorite drink and she says it's a vodka Diet Coke, girl's girl. And then, what's your advice to anyone who's aspiring to become an artist? She says, get a good lawyer. Are you a Jean guy?
I am a
I
Jean.
feel like I don't see you in Jean.
You've never seen me in Jean?
I'm not gonna say never.
Oh, okay.
I've seen you like quite a few times, but in recent history, I don't think I've seen you in jeans.
That's true.
You're usually cozy, or you have like trousers on.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're going out.
But no, I believe in jeans. I believe in jeans, like in a real way. This week, this whole discussion of jeans, it's very funny to me. The idea that the bootcut jean is back. So
5 years ago, we were all saying the two worst kinds of pants have come back: the boot cuts and the low rise. A 20-year rule. I fought it for so long. Not so much the boot cuts. I came around to the boot cuts because I love flares. It's just like a slightly more manageable flare. But low rise, I was always like, no way, because I've never liked the way I look in low rise shit, and now I do, and it's over for you. I'm gonna buy so many pairs of low rise pants and skirts. My ass is going to be out.
hey,
And you know what? You're welcome. Community service.
thank you. Yeah. No, the idea of a bootcut jean, like, I don't know. I remember, and then the audacity to wear a bootcut jean with sneakers.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing for me. Because I was doing that. I lived in this era.
I'll put it to you this. No, this is such a stupid joke. It's so dumb.
No.
Everyone talks about bootcut jeans, but nobody ever talks about jean cut boots. Maybe we should make boots that work for your pants and not pants that work for your shoes. The shoes or the pants you wear all day, the shoes you take off.
That's true. That's a good point.
No.
It is a good point. I'm going to tell you why it's a good point. Because, so the whole idea of jeans, right? This is during the cowboy era. That's the reason why we have this idea of bootcut jeans, right? Of course, we get the 60s and the bell bottoms, which when my mom watched that Super Bowl performance and she saw Kenny in the jeans,
yeah,
she was like, oh yeah, bell bottoms are back now.
Kenny and the Jets, or Benny and the Jets, Kenny and the jeans.
She's like, bell bottoms are back. And I was like, that was a bootcut jean.
But what is a boot cut but a diet flare? And flares came back before boot cut came back. Because we always have to hit 100 and then we'll make it subtle.
And the whole idea of jeans being fashion.
I wish we could bring back workwear.
Say more.
I just don't like. I guess if everything is special, nothing is special. But man, men's everyday clothing sucks.
I'm in favor of a good uniform. But you disagree with me one time.
I disagree with you for girls.
Oh.
I think let men be men, let women have fun.
Oh.
Which I am fully stealing from somebody else, by the way. I did not come up with that.
I think that's a fair concept. No, I'm all about the uniform.
And to be clear, if you're a fashionable man, you don't have to stick to the uniform either. But if you have to take a fucking license test to choose your own clothes in my state, in my country that I'm now ruling.
I'm into the uniform for even fashionable men, to be honest.
Fashionable men have their own uniform.
That's true. Do I have a uniform? Do you notice a uniform?
Absolutely.
What is my uniform?
You're like a t-shirts and trousers kind of boy. You always have your little bandana. Beanie optional, but it's always bare minimum one or the other. It's always beanies or glasses, but sometimes it's both if we're lucky.
Oh, if we're lucky.
Glasses we don't need, by the way.
Glasses we don't need. I always say
fake glasses.
I always tell my students, I'm always like, this is a performance.
You are a poser nerd or nerd poser. You've made me think of something that Alyssa showed me on Super Bowl Sunday while we were waiting for the halftime show. She's talking about this YouTuber that her and Matt watch. I wish I could remember his name. Maybe it's in my history. But he'd go to different cities and do like auditions for rappers.
Oh
my God, I can't find it. It's not in my history.
Auditions for rap.
And he did one in Memphis. And so she was talking about watching it. And I was like, if he did one in Memphis, let's watch the Memphis one. It's crazy. Like, it has to be staged. I hope it's staged.
What happened?
They're just really bad.
Oh,
And so sometimes they're just really bad, and he's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Sometimes they just walk in and look at it, right? And he's like, get the fuck out of here. There was one guy in a crackhead jacket and shorts. This was done in July, by the way.
oh no.
This is recent.
Oh no.
There was a he's also like gross with the women, sadly. She did have some, what did she say? She had an eye cup titties.
Wait, is that big?
That's huge.
Oh,
I'm a D.
oh,
And my biggest I was a triple D, which is
wow.
technically an F, I guess.
Sounds right.
So that's 3 cup sizes bigger than mine were like a year or 2 ago.
That's
Unfathomable.
wow.
There was a girl talking about how her opening bar was about needing the dick in the digits. And honestly, and Alyssa and I just looked at each other and we did this exact little.
Iconic.
She has, speaking of iconic, now we're going on a different tangent.
Okay.
I've got my Sacred Heart tattoo and my little rosary, and I always wear my little rosary. Am I Christian? No, who cares? And I had a customer come in and he like was commenting on my jewelry and my tattoo, and he was like, oh, are you a Christian? And I was like, no. Like, I tell people I'm culturally Catholic because my family's Irish Catholic. And he was like, oh, so you just like the imagery? And I said, yeah, I put the icon in iconography, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything.
Oh no.
I hate it here.
He doesn't know the rules.
He didn't get it. And that's what I get for trying to bring a straight man into the fold. I had another guy correct me for calling him a girl, which I'm like, they changed Title IX, babe. I can call you whatever the fuck I want. It goes both ways.
That part.
Make transphobia work for you. Only to bully the straight man.
Hmm.
That's it. But yeah, that rap thing, that was crazy to watch. There was a little girl, like itty bitty little girl. I think she was 3. And she had this adorable little like lavender cropped puffer jacket on. She was so cute. I don't know if the 3-year-old had bars. I don't remember, but I reckon probably not. Like bars on a crib, perhaps, but that's it. I wish it was in my fucking history on YouTube. Devastated that it's not. But I also don't want to text her and be like, what was that thing? Because I don't want her to get the wrong idea. I don't want to watch it.
When I think about, so you mentioned that 20-year rule.
Yes.
And okay, so we're back to
Jeans.
flares, bell bottom adjacent, boot cut adjacent. We're back to that vibe, right? The remix is always better than, not always, but sometimes the remix is better than the original.
As long as it's not the Julian Casablancas version of Mean Girls off of the new version of Brat.
That part.
That one's bad. But the Kendrick version of America Has a Problem is fantastic.
And we see that in fashion. I don't know. Like when tight clothing came back, we saw a better version of it than perhaps in the past. Now, in terms of materials and I don't know,
Sustainability.
yeah, all of that, no,
longevity.
but in terms of like aesthetic, like it always gets better, right?
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it's tailored more to it never fully comes back in the original form. It's tailored to the current time.
Yeah.
So what is the next like trend? Like where are we headed?
Okay. I mean, we're this close to the 2010s one, and that's about to happen. And so I think a lot of things that we're gonna see, maybe, I don't know, I'm not a fashion forecaster, but sure, forecaster? Yeah, fuck it. We'll go with that. Is the one that also came to mind when it's come back the past few times it's come back, but I think it has always come back shittier than its original, and is going to come back, and hopefully it won't come back shittier this time, but it's peplums.
Oh.
But peplums were bad. Peplums were great when they were first introduced in, what was it, the 60s, 50s, 60s?
Yes.
And then they came back in the 2010s and they were horrible.
Yes.
But if they come back again, like I have a peplum top right here that I'm getting rid of because it's too big for me. And it's barely a peplum. It just has a little frill on the bottom, but I feel like they're going to be better. This one's cute.
Look, I'm all for Juicy Couture coming back.
Yes. But none of these oversized hoodies. Every Juicy Couture hoodie I see these days is a big one. And I need a little crop like Jennifer's body has.
Yeah, we're in our baggy era.
Yeah. And the skirts, too. The velour skirts. Fuck the sweatpants. You know how I feel about sweatpants. in your sweatpants.
Hey,
They're fine for boys. Actually, they're fine for everybody but me.
yeah.
They're just not allowed on this temple that I call my body.
Hey,
Because it would be a disrespect to all of us.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. That makes me think, speaking of disrespect, it makes me think about cults and the
Yes.
iconic nature of cults. There was this Australian cult that's known for this iconic fashion sense. They wear, and you mentioned the uniform. There's a
Yeah.
uniform sense to it.
Is it like the white garment?
There are definitely, when I think of cults, I think of the aesthetic, the iconography of the look.
Yeah, because it's all it. That's what makes a cult. You have to be selling an image. I think. I don't know. Like you have to. What you're saying has to be at least somewhat convincing, obviously. But past a certain point, once you start gaining steam, all it needs to be is aesthetically pleasing. All of your top ranking members that people see have to be like hot and sexy and dressed really well and talk really well.
That's true.
And then at that point, it doesn't matter what you're saying.
That's true. That's true. And it makes me think about what we were saying about the 20-year rule. There's gonna be eventually at
Cults
some
are
point.
coming back in a big way.
There's gonna
Look
be
at our government.
there's gonna be some leader, some cult leader who looks like, oh, is it you?
Yeah, I'm gonna grow a beard. Jim Jones wishes.
I don't know.
What are you gonna say about the Australian cult?
I don't know. This is what I was gonna say about it. It just makes me think about.
What are they called? I want to look them up.
I think they were called like The Family. There's a TV show or TV series about it. I think it's called The Clearing or something like that. But yeah, they're iconic. They have like these bowl haircut
Oh,
and like these like coveralls.
that's crazy.
And I'm just like, this is like Sia vibes.
I was gonna say it's very like Malfoy.
Yes.
But yes, Sia's on the money. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, but she's an icon.
It's always like that. Especially the ones from like the iconic eras, like the 70s, 80s.
What's her name? I need to know her zodiac sign. If she's a Gemini, I'm gonna lose my mind. Do you understand me?
Don't tell me.
She's not.
Okay.
She's a Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Capricorns have like just starting fights immediately. Capricorns have no personality, so how are you a cult leader? Or maybe she wasn't a cult leader. I just saw her in a picture and saw her name. I have done no research.
And then I think about the Hillsong guy. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy.
I'm not.
Okay. Super charismatic. It's the Justin Bieber guy. He was going to the Hillsong. What's his name? He was like this hot preacher. Oh, yeah, Google.
You said hot preacher, and I'm like, okay.
That's your vibe. That's your vibe.
That is my vibe. What's his name?
Lent.
Spell that, girl.
LENTZ, maybe?
Lens Hillsong. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not hot.
No,
He's hot to his audience.
No, look up the photo of him shirtless with Justin Bieber.
I mean, there's a picture of him with Justin Bieber. I don't see a shirt.
Oh, yeah, that exists.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, I thought I saw some stuff. Wait, but like, you can have a nice body. His face is still ick.
Yeah, that's all we care about.
Also, such a fine line for me for like too buff.
Oh, is he
Very-
too buff?
I don't know. He's too buff to have short hair. If his hair was longer, I
He
would.
did grow it out recently.
He's
Yeah,
old now, though, so it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah. But
Sorry, Carl, you'll never get a chance with this.
his whole thing. So we're talking about cults. We're talking about like the fashion of cults. We're talking about, and he was like very much like in the skinny jean era. So I'm
Hipster.
envisioning very hipster. Like you see the haircut. He had the haircut.
Can I tell you something that
Say
rattled
more.
me to my core?
Yeah.
And I may have already told you this, but somebody said relatively recently that the coquette bows are this generation's mustache. And that made me want to throw myself off a building. But also, in terms of 20-year rule and shit always coming back, the bow is so much less offensive than a fucking mustache. The bow's a little more subtle.
Yeah.
All of my favorite aesthetics, this is such a hipster thing to say, and I don't care.
No.
All of my favorite aesthetics become popular and then bastardized, and then everyone hates the girls that are in them. I'm still in them, and I'm like, come on, y'all. Fuck these kids.
Look, I'm with you. Which one do you think is like the most egregious?
I think so. There's two that come to mind, but I do think Coquette is having its day in the sun and is getting sunburned real badly because those girls are pale as hell. I still think we're it. But I think especially when people started to maybe learn the history of Coquette, people did not like what they found, which I've been around when Coquette was still known. And do you kids have any idea how long I fought for your rights? Like, I was in the trenches on Tumblr. I remember when like the main fashion blog, formerly known as Nymphet Fashion, and I think this is really where the turning point for the aesthetic name happened. I don't have a way to prove this, but this is to me where I saw the shift is they did a poll on Tumblr to decide what their new name would be because everyone wanted to move away from Nymphet, and Coquette was the one that won. I think Dolette and Dollette were some other ones. I know, what is it, Fawnlet and Dearlet or whatever, like newer ones, which were cute, but like they weren't around. I also think Fawnlet and Dearlet are like the bridge from Coquette to like Southern Gothic, which the Southern Gothic girlies are the ones that really don't like the Coquette girlies. It's so hard being a Coquette Ethel Kane fan. They hate me. And you know what? You're 17. That's okay. But the other one that was way before Coquette took off, and I was less like into it before it became a thing, and I was like one of the first people into it as it was like starting to take off, which was Dark Academia. In 2017, the Dark Academia tag on Tumblr had 800 posts in it. All right. This was the spring, summer that I read The Secret History for the first time. All that shit. I think a year before is when I first watched Dead Poet Society, and I was like, this shit slaps. Where do I find more of this? And then somebody I followed on Tumblr started posting about Dark Academia and The Secret History, and I was like, okay, well, this is my new personality. Dark green bedroom interior design became a thing. Like after I did my bedroom that style in October of 2019, and then I saw it everywhere. And the most recent one, and the one that I'm like, you kids better not fuck this up for me. The kids, specifically the non-binary kids, which I love, they are so into biblically accurate angels. They fucking love them. And I'm like, don't you take them away from me. Don't you make them lame. Because I was getting an angel tattoo on Saturday. I've got a jacket coming in the mail that has a fucking seraph painted on it. And I was just like, maybe, at what point is this a little much? I'm self-cringing again, and I hate it.
No, I don't know.
Such a rant.
No, I think it's fair. I think it's fair because that's the thing, right? Like you originate a space, or you feel like you originate a space. Like you start a counterculture, or you invest in a counterculture, and then you get old enough to realize that other people are entering that space, and they have ideas about that space, and you're like, wait, but I created this space. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still hung up on these jeans, these Ken Thick jeans.
Let me pull up the image.
Yeah, because I was just looking at it, and as he was just bopping around this field in these jeans,
sprinting,
I'm just like, yo, the thighs were thighing.
Yeah, I noticed the hams at first. But the hams are hamming.
I know. I'm like, really, this whole thing.
Golly!
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the whole thing, me bringing this up, is just, can I pull this off?
I think so.
Because I'm seriously thinking about it.
Y'all have a very similar stature.
Speaking of spaces that you originated, I was the original bootcut person.
You were the original bootcut short black man.
Yes.
I love that.
I was. In high school, I was bootcut all day. I didn't own anything but bootcut.
That's because no one did.
I know, but I was really like...
You didn't have those pants that snapped off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did.
The French. I actually don't know how to pronounce that, but we used to call them, where I'm from, we used to call them jabot.
I just didn't know that they had a name.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I thought
don't
they were just called Snap Away,
know.
Tear Away.
They're called Jabot jeans. They were very expensive. I had 2 or 3 pairs of them, and I would wear them. I had a pair with red straps, had a pair with green straps, and I had a pair with white straps. And I had them in my childhood home in the closet for like years, for years. I'm talking about the trend had died, like people were over it. People were like super skin in this like we're skinny jeans era,
Yeah,
baggy was done. And I just kept those jeans because they were expensive.
that's fair.
And then everything came back around and all the kids are wearing baggies now.
Yeah.
And then those jeans specifically came back. Like literally I was watching a music video with SZA and she had them on. And I was like,
Wasn't she actually wearing something similar at the Super Bowl? But they were red?
yeah, I think it was straps happening, a strap situation. But yeah, but
You wait when I bring my gun.
but yeah, no, literally I saw that. Like she did the music video where she has those jeans on, and I had just given those jeans away the year before. And
I know
like,
you were
I
mad.
was so angry.
Yeah, no, I feel that. There's at least one article of clothing that I'll think about once a year. Cindy Supisa once said in one of her videos, she was like, "Why does old me, why does past me get to have these and present me doesn't? I'm the version of me that exists right now, fully."
Right. I guess this means that I have to buy bootcut jeans.
I'll buy you some bootcut jeans, baby.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe I'm doing this
You can be
again.
bootcut, bro.
I have to do it. I gotta do it. I literally said, I
Did you wear
remember.
cowboy boots?
No, it was.
No, but would you?
I don't know. I would definitely wear.
When we go to Nashville, which we're never doing.
We might.